Most clothing brands stall out by month 3, and it's not because of bad design. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the system and tool I've built that now helps over 300 clothing brands every single year generate $100 million or more. And I'll share with you step by step how to implement this into your business. To completely understand the strategy, we have to take a step back and explain why most people get their organic content wrong. Now, the idea for this system came after spending hours of time on YouTube and reading and trying to find a system that could be repeatable in arguably one of the most saturated markets that sells off of emotion more than any other product available. Now, I needed a way to gather objective data in an overly subjective world, and not to completely butcher this quote by Caleb Ralston, who was the head of content for Gary Vee and Alex Hormozi. But your opinion about your brand does not matter. What matters is the collective agreement and subjective opinion of your audience who is going to pay money for your clothes. Basically, what is your customers, or what do your customers think about your product, and are they willing to give you money for it? Okay, so let's go through part 1, understanding this framework that we've created. So this is called the clothing offer equation. This is the framework, and there are basically 5 main components here. Okay, so let's talk through the framework, and then I will share with you how we can take this subjective opinion and put it through the lens of objective data. So this is the equation that we created. It is very much pulled off of the value equation, if you're familiar with Alex Hormozi. If not, doesn't matter. But he created the value equation that I believe is more specific to the service-based businesses. We created the clothing offer equation that is specific to the apparel industry, specifically to those who sell products online or require subjective opinion that need objective data. Okay, so the clothing offer equation, very simply. So this top part is the numerator. It's the numbers that we want to go up. The denominator are the numbers that we want to go down. To explain the framework, it's very simple, and then we'll get into how do we put numbers behind it. So S stands for style aspiration. Okay, what is this person who is buying from you, what do they aspire to be like? For example, if it's an athletic line, right, the style aspiration could be that somebody would look fit or look active or look strong. Quality and fit confidence. This is also a big part here, right? If you're missing this piece, a lot of times people will look over it. Quality and fit. How do you define quality and fit? Well, it depends on the material, right? So you could talk about the seam lines. You could talk about the material, like, hey, is this a quality of material? You can see like how thick something is. Please don't ever use GSM, right? Okay, so you watching this may know what GSM is. However, your customers do not. If you don't know what it is, it doesn't matter. It's, basically the weight. So like, what's the weight of the product? That could talk through the quality and fit. Use real descriptive words to say that it weighs as much as a stapler. Don't actually use that, but like use something to describe the weight versus just telling us that it's 300 GSM. Doesn't mean anything, okay? So this is the number that we want to go up. This number we want to go down. A lot of times when businesses start, they don't realize that these numbers down here, or this denominator, if not adjusted, will completely overtake this numerator. And we want this number to be extremely large and this number to be smaller. So we have W. What's the wait time? How long is it going to take to get this product? Now, print-on-demand companies, I understand you may have to wait longer. That's fine. Is it going to be a deal breaker? Absolutely not. We have many brands who we work with that are print-on-demand. That's what they sacrifice. This number's larger here. These numbers could be smaller, and this number could be bigger, and it could still work. Okay, but let's get through the framework. So this is waiting time. This is shopping friction. Basically, did you design your site yourself, which is completely fine. Did you use AI to build it? Also completely fine. But there are websites that are much more, user-friendly than other sites that are not. Just putting something together in your own opinion that looks good is completely different than having a good user experience for your customer. Many of our brand owners build it with their own perspective so they don't see the blind spots, which is why they end up working with us to help them get a 30,000-foot view. But if you have a bad shopping experience, right, you have shopping friction, you're going to increase this number, which is going to decrease sales. The last number here, or the last, I would say, area is price sensitivity. Okay, if your price point is significantly larger, and I'm not talking about 5% or 10%, but 20, 25% larger than the competitors, and that competitor who may not see you as one competitor, but let's say another brand, for example, you're trying to compete with somebody like Lululemon and you're an athletic line. If your price point is about the same price point or even higher than, let's say for Lululemon, if these other areas, right, the wait time is longer, there's shopping friction, and it's also a higher price point, or it's within 5 to 10% of the price point of something like a Lululemon and you're an athletic line, it's gonna be significantly harder to get that purchase, right? That it is possible if these two areas here really identify with that person. But if you don't, it's gonna be very difficult to try to grow because there's brand loyalty, right? And we're not gonna spend the whole conversation here talking about branding and association, but that part is important here. If you do not have a higher numerator than you do denominator, it's going to be very difficult to sell online. And it's why most people, honestly, don't sell or don't scale. It's because they don't understand the data, which is what we're going to talk about here. But first, I wanted to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. So my name is Aaron, and alongside my business partner, Christian, we created this channel to help you grow and scale your clothing brand so that you can hit your revenue goals and support your families and grow and have that location, that time freedom. Now, if you found any value in this video at all, please give us a nice little like and subscribe. It is 100% free. If you do it in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you my favorite Christmas movie. We're getting into that time again. Okay, so let's review application and specifics. Now, we had an OSO program member, so it's our optimized store owner program for clothing brands. He was a member, and a couple of weeks ago, he was just chatting about some frustrations that he had in this business. He's been around for about 5 years, and that he finally had a win. He's been struggling mostly because he was focused on the wrong thing. And this framework made it a lot easier. Okay, I'm gonna go through it as a document here on the screen, but I wanna talk to you specifically because I think this may be something that's relevant. You're avoiding the areas that matter the most, right? And I think there's a phrase that you could use to describe this situation because 5 years is a long time. You may be saying, oh, that's not me, right? I'm not gonna get it to 5 years. It's only been 6 months for me. It's only been a year for me. I get you. But the thing that you have to understand is that what you avoid controls you. What this person was avoiding was actually creating content and getting in front of people. What they were focused on was tiny tweaks to the website and tiny tweaks to the product pages and all of the different things. They love tinkering around with things, but if there is no traffic, the website being better does absolutely nothing, right? And you don't have data. You don't have actual objective data to make decisions. Let's get in here, and I want to just kind of walk through this. So this is just a better explanation. This is a document that I created. I'll talk to you here in a little bit about a better way for you to access this document. Honestly, not even the document, but something so much better that will make it a lot easier for you. But I created this document a long time ago and have continued to update it based off of what's actually happening in the clothing space from data that we've been getting from clothing brand members. Now, this first part is just what I talked about earlier. What are these main 5 areas? Why does this matter? Okay, so the clothing offer equation helps you break down why someone would or wouldn't buy from your clothing brand. Okay, so it talks about raising the numerator, the denominator. The rating system is a 1 to 10 system. So each variable here gets a score from 1 to 10. 1 being the best possible scenario for that variable or minimum friction, 10 being the worst case scenario or highest friction. Now, here is the framework. So how do you use this checklist? You score each section 1 to 10, and each area of the scores below 7, it's a growth opportunity for you. You want to assess your brand's style and appeal, style aspirations. How would you do that? Objectively, you have to go off of the data that you have, okay? So the more data that you have, the easier this will be. And like I mentioned earlier, I have a way that you can plug in these numbers a lot easier. But I want to talk through this because it's extremely important to understand more than anything. If you have this framework, if you understand this equation, the framework that you have will help you to print money. It will help you grow your business so much faster because everyone else overlooks it. And when I'm on YouTube, I'm looking for these videos that give this type of information in areas that I'm interested in. So I hope this is valuable for you guys, and share it with your friends, but it's completely fine if you just watch it yourself 3 different times. That works too, so that you get the information you need to go enact and start taking action. Just give some examples. Does your brand align with a clear aesthetic that resonates with your target audience? How to know? Are customers tagging you? Okay, are they not tagging you in photos or literally anything, or styling your items? If they're not, okay, you may not be aligning. There's one boutique that we had that we've been working with, and it was one of our first customers that we've ever had, so about 11 years now. And what they did really well, they didn't have a large social following. I think to this day they still have less than 10,000 followers on Instagram. To this day their email list is probably only like 3,000 to 4,000 people, you know, after that long in business. And they do millions of dollars per year. And why is that? Okay, because other people love them so much. They're tagging them, they're sharing, they're telling their friends about it. It's like an underground community of people who just love this brand. Is it consistent? Are influencers aligning with your brand aesthetic without heavy direction? So example, a streetwear brand with bold graphics sees customers naturally pairing their pieces with sneakers and posting unprompted outfit photos. If they're already doing this and posting about you, great. If you're a new brand and you're like, nobody's doing this, hey, that just means there's an opportunity. If you're like, I have no data, well then great. You need to create content that actually aligns here. Here's another one. Have you researched your customer preferences and current fashion trends? Okay, do you know your customers so well that you could actually speak to the problems that they have and what's happening more so as a trend? How do you know? Are you analyzing Pinterest trends, TikTok styles? If TikTok goes away, whatever, just wherever. Instagram Reels, to see what's emerging. Do you collect feedback through surveys or polls? Do you actually ask your customers? Do you have the ability to run broadcasts on your Instagram? The ability for you to DM your followers or the people who join your community? Do you actually gather information and data, surveys, etc.? Let's go down here to quality and fit. Check return reasons, reviews, and direct customer feedback and material feel and its fit consistency. So are you experiencing a high return rate due to fit quality issues? How to know? Are over 10% of your returns due to the item doesn't fit? If you're close to 10% of returns in general, that's somewhat high, right? I would be kind of aware of that anyway, okay? But is it not as expected? The other thing, have you conducted wear tests and gathered real customer feedback? You can take your product, go to the mall, go down the street, like actually get real feedback from this, from potential customers, right? Go find real people and get that feedback if you can't actually sell anything yet. Again, if you're selling a ton of items, reach out to these customers. Give them a call, shoot them an email, give them some kind of incentive to give you real feedback about the product. Improve shipping and delivery speed. Some of you go for print on demand, may not be possible, I get it. How to assess average fulfillment times. And I have a little chart down below I'm gonna go through here in a second, but let's just do one of these here. So, do you have clear shipping expectations set on your website? How to know? Do you state that this ships in 24 hours or arrives in 5 to 7 days? Do you put that on the product pages? If it's not there, if you're not clear about it, you're leaving people guessing and going to try to find an answer, okay? You're causing more friction. Okay, so if you rate this on a 1 to 7 scale, or 1 to 10 scale, sorry, you'll see here, okay? So how would you rate this? Let's do shipping because we were just talking about it. So shipping for 10 plus days for delivery, where's my order, right? So this is a 1 to 3, big red flag, right? Very low. 3 to 5 days shipping, some delays, but mostly fine. This is about average. 5 days, okay. And then fast shipping, 1 to 2 days, no major complaints at all, okay? You're rocking and rolling there. And again, you would put this in for every single area of your business. I talk about how to score this objectively and how to calculate your score, which, like I said, I'll talk to you about how we can do it here in a second. But I'm more interested in you taking the time to put in the effort to fill this type of information out. And you're wondering, how do I print money? Well, it's not just Lamborghinis, it's not just, you know, creating some content, it's actually doing it with purpose and using something like this to continue to get 1% better at everything that you do. So I also made this whole document and updated a GPT with all of this information, continuing to update and giving new prompts, new information, new learning within this GPT that you can easily review, plug and play for your business, and I'll tell you exactly how to get it. But first, I want you to hold up 1 second. I just wanted to say that if you are a clothing brand owner and want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, as you can imagine, so go find a time right now that works best for you. Just check out the link in the description down below. Okay, so this clothing offer equation is a GPT that you can get. I'm not gonna make you go any farther. If you just comment the word clothing down below, I will send you this GPT or a link to this GPT. One of the things that you will do here, and one of the prompts that I have here make a lot of sense, and I'll continue to update them based off the feedback for you guys. This is not a set it and forget it tool for us. We use it every single day. One of the things here though is diagnose my brand using this framework. Help me reduce return rates. Help what's hurting my score right now. How do I make our styles more aspirational? You may be running into different areas of your business, okay? A lot of people may add to cart, right, but not check out, because it's one problem. A lot of people may get to checkout but never purchase. That's another problem. A lot of people get to the website but never add to cart. That's a different problem. This framework allows you to put in numbers to find out, okay, what is the most reasonable thing to do within your business? You would diagnose my brand using the COE framework, clothing author equation. It's going to ask you a series of questions, and it's going to ask you more specifically the data for your brand. You'll fill out this information. It says, great, to diagnose your brand using this equation, I'll need a few details first to ensure your score is accurate and the recommendations are highly actionable. Please answer many of the following questions that you can, all right, as many as you possibly can. So you would want to put in specific data. When I have been watching YouTube videos, the amount of people who do like the bare minimum with ChatGPT are absolutely going to lose. Please do not be one of them. Give me as much information as possible about your brand, and this GPT will be an amazing tool. If you just say, my target audience are 18 to 45-year-old men and women who live in urban areas, you are not going to win. And I'm telling you that as like I want you to win. But if you continue to think that and operate that way, it is going to be a very difficult uphill trajectory, right? It's going to be very difficult to try to grow because you have to have very specific information. So once you do that, it will start to give the information like data for you. Okay, so I put in some fake information. I basically told the GPT I was doing this for a YouTube video, so not real information. So talk about hero products, talk about we're 90% DTC, we're on Shopify, shout out. These are the informations, okay? Great, priorities. All right, increase conversion and reduce returns to improve profitability before raising ad spend. Small constraints, small 4-person team, blow it up. Ready to move forward, yes. Okay, so my style aspiration is a 3, very low, okay? So unique aesthetic, great. Hero pieces, great. Limited influencer, UGC, and social buzz. Basically, nobody's talking about it. And if you have no influence, if you have nobody talking about it, especially yourself, and you are not out there, very difficult to make a splash in the marketplace. Number 2, quality and fit confidence. Okay, got a 5 here. 22% return rate, mainly due to sizing. Dang, I got a problem. It's gonna give you what you should be doing. Strategic recommendations, you can scroll down here. Launch an influencer seeding program, urban creatives, micro-influencers. For waiting time, add express shipping, show estimated delivery date per zip code. Shopping friction, improve the product page user experience on mobile, more content, faster loading times. So it gives you what you could do here, and then you could follow it up and say, hey, for price sensitivity, what should I do here? What are some examples of what to do? Or what are some good brands to look at, right? You can start to prompt it and ask questions for yourself. Again, if you want this and you want to start building off of a framework that actually gives you the foundation to grow and scale online, just comment the word clothing down below. I'll send you the link to this GPT that you can now start using. So now you know the framework to build a clothing brand that will print money profitably. You need to add gasoline to this fire. Go watch this video on Instagram ads right here next. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. And P.S., make sure you subscribe.